On the record at 11:13 a.m.
You own the house at Sterling Green in which you currently reside, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you owned any other properties since 1990?
No.
Have you ever managed any other, have you ever managed any rental properties?
No.
When elections for the Board of Directors at Sterling Green are held, does the Sterling Green office, and this is, I'm confining this to the period during which you served as office manager, did the office conduct the elections on behalf of the board?
Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, we prepared what we needed to do for the to get ready for the election.
And so if the office conducted the election, then since you're the senior supervising employee in the office, correct?
I'm the office manager. Yes.
Well, is there anyone above you in the office? Is there anyone?
No.
Okay. So when the office conducted elections on behalf of the board, did you yourself oversee the conduct of those elections?
The office didn't oversee the office just, we prepared the minutes, I mean the agenda for the meetings.
Who prepared the ballots?
Yes, and the office prepared the ballots.
Who counted the ballots?
We had a committee.
Was there any paperwork relating to the elections that was prepared by anyone other than people employed in the office?
No.
I'm going to mark the bylaws as Exhibit 2. Can you please take a look at Exhibit 2 and tell me what that exhibit is?
It looks like the articles to me.
On Exhibit 2, does it say bylaws at the top?
Yes, it does.
And are these, is Exhibit 2 the bylaws of Sterling Green Community Improvement Association?
Yes, that's what it says.
Please take a look at Exhibit 2 and tell me if these bylaws appear to have been the bylaws that were in effect when you were the office manager for Sterling Green.
Yeah, they haven't been changed, so I guess they were.
going to ask you to take a look at Exhibit 2 again, and specifically at the paragraph that begins Section 4 quorum on the 3rd page. Do you see that paragraph?
Board of Directors? What?
The paragraph that begins with Section 4 quorum underlined. Do you see that?
Yes, I see it.
I'm going to ask you to read the first sentence of that paragraph aloud.
The presence at the meeting of members entitled to cast or proxies entitled to cast 1/10 of the votes of each class of membership until membership shall constitute a quorum for any action except as otherwise provided in the Articles of Incorporation. The declaration of these bylaws is if, however, such quorum shall not be present or represented at any meeting, the members entitled to vote thereat shall have power to adjourn the meeting from time to time without notice other than announcement at the meeting until a quorum as foresaid shall be present or be represented.
Were these bylaws in effect while you were the office manager for
Yes,
Sterling
they were.
Green?
Yes.
Do you know what the term proxy means?
Yes, I know what it means.
What does it mean?
It means that homeowners can give the right to the secretary of the board to vote on their behalf.
Can they give the right to anyone other than the secretary?
I thought it was just a secretary.
Have you ever had a situation where members appointed representatives other than the secretary or gave their proxies to representatives of their choosing other than the secretary and had those proxies cast their votes in elections?
No, we never really had that many people never really came to the meetings. We mailed out the ballots, but we never had a lot of people to come to the meetings or was really interested, really.
Objection non-responsive. My question is, did you ever have an occasion when you were the office manager for Sterling Green where members used a proxy to cast their ballots for them?
In 2000, the election in 2000, I think it was 2018, yes.
So would you agree there are at least 2,000 members of Sterling Green?
Yes,
And there have been as long as you were office manager?
yes, that's how many homes there are.
And so if there are at least 2,000 members, would you agree that at least 1/10 or 200 members need to be at a meeting in order for the meeting to take action as described in that paragraph you just read?
Objection 4. If you can answer.
Yeah, that's what it says, but even before I was on the board, they operated on what they had, They operated with what they had.
So there were meetings when there were less than 200 people and
Yes.
they still held board elections?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
going to have the annual HOA meeting Board of Directors election tally sheet for March 2nd, 2015, identified as Exhibit 3. Ms. Malveaux, can you tell me if you recognize Exhibit 3?
Well, I mean, that's what it says.
What is Exhibit 3?
It's a ballot tally sheet.
And what does it show?
It shows for myself 47, Linda Bass 43, and Lena Toth 39, and 2 write-ins,
And 47 what?
47 votes.
Does that reflect an election for the Board of Directors?
No, it doesn't.
Why doesn't it reflect an election for the Board of Directors?
I don't know. It's always been like that before I came to the board. It's always been done that way.
I'm going to object as non-responsive. I'm just trying to establish what the document is. Does that document reflect an election for the Board of Directors that was held in March of 2015?
Yes, that's what it says, yes.
Does it show that you received 47 votes?
It does.
Objection form.
And does it show at the bottom that 52 ballots were cast?
Objection form.
Yeah, I don't know who prepared that. I don't know what that means.
I understand that, but does it have written at the bottom 52 ballots?
It says 52
Objection
ballots.
form.
Can I ask you a question?
Do you remember was there a meeting on March 2nd, 2015 at which an election was held?
Objection form.
That's what it says, yeah.
Were Board of Directors meetings held in March of each year?
Yes.
Are you aware of any documents showing that there was a quorum at the March 2nd, 2015 meeting
Objection form.
that rendered the meeting capable of performing Sterling Green business under the bylaws?
Objection form.
Objection form.
No, I don't remember.
I didn't ask you if you remembered, I asked you if you were aware of any documents.
Objection form.
Objection form.
Are you aware of any documents showing that a quorum existed at the March 2nd, 2015 meeting at which an
No.
election was held?
No.
Objection form.
So if they need to have at least 200 people, 200 members present for there to be a quorum, and this Exhibit 3 shows only 52 ballots were cast, do you contend that there was a quorum at that meeting of
Objection.
200 or more members?
Objection form.
Objection form.
I don't know.
Did members sometimes attend election meetings and not cast ballots?
I'm not sure.
Following this election, did you act on the assumption that you had been legally elected to the Board of Directors for Sterling Green?
Objection form.
Yeah. No, I just,
I'm sorry?
I said, I was told, I did what I was told to do
By whom?
by the board, the previous board before I was on the board. and our attorneys.
Board of Directors' terms are 2 years, is that correct?
Yes,
Did you act on the assumption that you had been legally elected to the Board of Directors for a 2-year term that extended from March 2015 to March 2017?
Objection form.
Objection 4.
Is that a yes?
we assumed.
You assumed it.
We assumed.
So would it be accurate to say that Sterling Green routinely violated its own bylaws while you were the office manager in holding elections even when there was not a quorum?
Objection 4.
Objection form.
Oh, no. Can't say.
Well, you've acknowledged that a quorum of at least, given the number of units at Sterling Green, a quorum is at least 200 people, and you've agreed that the bylaws we looked at were in effect at that time in 2015. I guess what I'm wondering is, did you assume that it just didn't matter, that there was a legally sufficient quorum at the meeting in which you were elected to the Board of Directors in March 2015?
Objection 4.
Objection form.
I'm not sure.
Do you have any reason to dispute the assertion that you were not legally elected to the Board of Directors in March 2015 because there was not a quorum at the meeting in which you were elected?
Objection form.
I don't know. I just did what I was taught to do, so it is what it is.
What are the names of the persons who told you to serve on the Board of Directors even though you had been elected at a meeting where there was not a quorum present?
Objection 4.
Objection form.
I can remember. I mean, just don't remember.
Was there a person who told you to serve despite there not being a quorum at the meeting in which you were allegedly elected?
Objection 4.
Objection form.
No. Mm-mm.
Were you ever elected to the Board of Directors at a meeting in which a quorum was present?
Objection form.
I can't remember.
I'm going to mark the minutes of the board meeting of March 6, 2017 as Exhibit 4. Would you please take a look at Exhibit 4 and tell us what it is?
It says minutes of the board meeting,
Of
March
what?
6th.
Of what date?
March 6th, 2017.
And do those minutes indicate that an election was held in March of 2017 and that you received 18 votes for a position on the Board of Directors and Linda Bass received 14 votes and Lena Toe was elected with 14 votes?
Mhm.
Objection form.
Is that correct?
That's what it says.
Objection form.
Can I see Exhibit 4? Thank you. Do you claim there was a quorum of at least 200 persons at the March 6, 2017 meeting in which you were allegedly elected to the Board of Directors?
Objection form.
I mean, it's what it says right there. I mean, it's just what it is.
Were there at least 200 persons present at the March 6, 2017 meeting in which elections for the Board of Directors were held?
Objection form.
I'm not sure.
Did you proceed on the Board of Directors for a 2-year term commencing in March 2017 on the assumption that you had been elected to the board in the meeting of March 6, 2017?
Objection form.
That's what it says.
That was not my objection, non-responsive. Did you serve on the Board of Directors after March 6, 2017 on the assumption you had been elected to the Board of Directors on March 6, 2017?
Objection form.
Yes. Yeah.
While you were office, would you agree with me that because there was not a quorum present, you were not legally elected to the Board of Directors in either 2015 or 2017?
Objection form.
Objection form.
I'm sorry?
I don't know.
Are you aware of any document that shows that there was a quorum present at the March 2015 or March 2017 meetings at which elections for the Board of Directors were held?
Objection form.
No, I'm not. I'm going to mark Exhibit 5, a document that contains expense checks issued by Sterling Green to Dorothy Malveaux. Can you take a look at that exhibit, please? Okay.
Does Exhibit 5 contain documents, contain copies of checks with the typewritten word Sterling Green CIA Inc. in the upper right-hand corner?
Yes.
Objection 4.
And were those checks signed by Dorothy Malveaux?
Yes.
And
Objection 4.
are those checks payable to Dorothy Malveaux?
Yes.
Objection 4.
Mhm.
Does Exhibit 5 contain approximately 30 copies of 30 checks issued between February 17 and March 2018? 29 actually, 29 checks. Each issued by Sterling Green to Dorothy Malveaux and in the amount of $100.
Yeah.
Objection 4.
Is that a yes?
That's what it says.
Okay. Have you had a chance, though, to go through the whole exhibit? There's 28.
Yeah. Mhm.
You did have a chance to go through the whole?
Yeah, I saw 'em. Mhm.
And in addition to signing the checks on behalf of, at the top of each page is the check, the front of the check issued by Sterling Green with your signature on it, the authorized signature. And on the bottom of each check, does it show where, the back of the check where you've endorsed the check with your signature?
Mhm.
Objection
Is
4.
that a yes?
It's my signature, yes.
And is that true for all the pages in this exhibit?
Objection 4.
Except for the last page?
Objection 4.
And what was this one for $1,200?
That's why I said it's 29, not 30. The last one shouldn't even be included in there. It's not payable to you, so I can remove it. So there's 29 checks. There's 30 pages in Exhibit 5. And the first 29 pages contain copies of checks issued to you for $100 by Sterling Green. What were these checks issued for?
Objection 4.
Answer the question if you can.
They were for mileage.
And when you, did you submit written expense claims to Sterling Green as in advance of them in advance of Sterling Green issuing these checks?
Objection 4.
No, I didn't. Mm-mm.
And how did you settle on the number $100?
Objection 4.
The board.
The board.
Yes.
Objection 4.
What did the board do that caused you to settle on the number $100?
Objection 4.
Am I not supposed to say anything with this
If you
exception?
understand the question, go ahead and answer.
They saw that I was using my personal car and gas to do deed restrictions, to run errands for the HOA. It was their suggestion that I be reimbursed for the mileage.
Does a written document exist?
Yes, it does.
Let me finish. Does a written document exist in which the board of directors authorized you to issue checks to yourself for $100 for mileage?
Objection form.
Yes.
And what is that document?
Objection form.
It was something from the board.
When was it issued?
Objection form.
And I'm not sure, 2007, I think it was.
Does that document exist at present?
Objection form.
He has it, yeah,
Who has it?
he does.
Objection non-responsive. Does the document exist at present?
It did
Objection
exist.
form.
I don't know whether it does now.
What type of document is it?
It was
Objection form.
a memo from the board of directors.
I understand it's from the board of directors, but what type of document is it? Is it a letter? Is it a resolution? What is it?
Objection form.
It's a memo. A letter, whatever, signed by the board of directors.
Signed by all members of the board.
Objection
Yeah, they
form.
were in agreement.
And at what meeting of the board of directors did it hold a vote on authorizing you to issue yourself $100 checks?
Objection form.
Because I was a signer and I was the treasurer, and they gave authorization to do that.
And what was the date of the meeting at which they did this?
It was
Objection
in
form.
2007, I'm not sure of the date.
Do you know the date in 2007?
No, I
Objection
don't.
form.
What did the document say in which the board authorized you to issue payments of $100 to yourself?
Objection form.
They just agreed, and they agreed as the board that I should be reimbursed $100 per period for my mileage for using my own car and gas to run errands and to do deed restrictions in my personal vehicle.
And does that mean, did Sterling Green issue a credit card on a Sterling Green account to you for your use?
It was
Objection
not for my personal use, it was for the use of the company.
What I'm wondering is if they're paying you this $100 in part for gas, does that mean you would not also be charging gas on the Sterling Green credit card that was issued to you?
Objection form.
No, I use my own personal car for my gas.
And how often were you authorized to issue yourself $100 checks? Was it once a month, once a week?
Objection
Each
form.
pay period,
And how long is a pay period?
every 2
Objection
weeks.
form.
Where did you drive to? What is the longest trips you had to make for Sterling Green business while you were office manager?
Objection form.
I'm not sure. I had to go to Pasadena. I could go to, I have to travel to do things. And I'm not sure I didn't keep up with it.
And how did you settle on the number $100?
The board
Objection
did.
form.
That was their decision.
And who are the members of the board who signed this letter? What are their names?
I don't have it in
Objection
front of me.
form.
I don't know right now.
Does Sterling Green have this document in its possession?
Objection form.
Yeah, they should. He has it.
Sterling Green has company vehicles?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did they have company vehicles during the entire time you worked for Sterling Green?
No. Mm-mm.
When did they first have company vehicles?
I'm not sure. Back in, they had one vehicle when I started, yes. And I saw him pointing something to you, but I did stuff outside of work as well, besides not just when I was on the job.
Stuff for Sterling Green's
Yes,
benefit?
I did.
And what were those things you did for Sterling
I
Green's
ran
benefit?
errands, I shopped, and I did things outside of the job.
So just to be clear, you do not have a copy of this document in which Sterling Green authorized you to pay yourself $100 every pay period, is that correct?
Objection form.
I don't have it, no, I don't have it with me, no, I don't have it.
Do you have it at home?
Should be in the office, it was in the
Objection form.
files.
Objection non-responsive.
It was in the files.
Objection non-responsive. My question is, do you have this document or a copy of it at home?
Objection form.
No, I was in the office, had no reason to carry it with me.
Is the Sterling Green Board's decision to authorize you to pay yourself $100 out of every pay period, is that reflected in the minutes for any board meeting?
Objection
It
form.
should be.
But is it?
Objection
I
form.
don't know. I don't know if we still have those minutes.
Was that $100 payment, was that based on actual mileage?
Objection form.
It's what they agreed on.
Are you aware of any other persons who've seen this letter or document who can testify to its existence?
Objection form.
No, I'm not. It's not right. It's not right. Like he's an attorney.
What is your current phone number?
832-457-5260.
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
832-457-5260.
Have you ever used a telephone with a phone number of 281-638-1024?
That's a security phone. That was a security phone.
When you worked for Sterling Green, did Sterling Green pay your mobile phone bills?
Yes, they did.
Can you identify minutes or a board resolution that reflect the decision of the Board of Directors authorizing Sterling Green to pay your mobile phone bills?
Objection form.
No.
Did the board authorize Sterling Green to pay your mobile phone bills?
Objection form.
Yes.
When did they do that?
I don't
Objection
know.
form.
Can you identify the year?
Objection form.
I think it was in 2008, 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever.
And was there a meeting? Strike that. Did the Board of Directors provide you with a written authorization to have Sterling Green pay your mobile phone bills?
Objection form.
I don't know, may have been. I'm not sure if it's one or not, but they bought the phone.
Can you identify minutes or a board resolution that reflect the Board of Directors' decision to authorize Sterling Green to pay your phone bills?
Objection form.
No, I don't. He bought the phone and gave it to me,
Who's he?
the treasurer back then.
What was the treasurer's name?
I can't remember his name. All I know was Dave.
Did you assume because the treasurer bought you a phone that Sterling Green had authorized the office to pay your mobile phone bills?
The
Objection
phone was
form.
for me to use in the meeting, for the office.
I'm not interested in the phone itself. I'm interested in your claim that the Board of Directors authorized the office that you oversaw to pay your mobile phone bills.
Objection form.
The phone was for use for the business.
Objection non-responsive. Do you have a copy of any written authorization?
No, I don't.
Objection form.
Did Sterling Green stop paying your mobile phone bills at some point?
Objection form.
Yes, when I left, when I got fired. It was not my personal, it was for office use.
So you've had the, Sterling Green has paid various types of expenses that you incurred. Is that correct?
Objection form.
No, that's not correct.
Did they ever pay for your meal expenses?
Objection form.
No. Mm-mm.
When you were office manager, what employees of Sterling Green, strike that, Sterling Green had a checking account while you were office manager, is that correct?
Yes,
And was the checking account with Wells Fargo?
yes.
Did they have checking accounts with any other banks while you were office manager?
No.
And what employees of Sterling Green were authorized to sign checks while you were office manager?
Objection form.
No one.
I'm sorry?
No one.
Well, you were authorized to sign checks while you were office manager, correct?
Yes.
Objection form.
Any other employees?
No.
Objection form.
Were you investigated by the Harris County Sheriff while you were office manager for Sterling Green?
No.
Objection form.
Did you receive a subpoena from the Harris County Sheriff while you were office manager for Sterling Green?
Objection form.
No, I don't know. No. No, I wasn't. I don't remember.
Did Did you have Susan Rice quash a subpoena that was served on you for records by the Harris County Sheriff while you were office manager for Sterling Green?
For records?
Objection form.
For records?
Yes.
I can't recall. I can't recall.
I'm going to have a statement dated Wednesday, August 15, 2018, identified as Exhibit 6. Please take a look at Exhibit 6.
What is it for? And what was this?
Have you had a chance to review the document?
I just saw that it was checks for $100.
Have you had a chance to review the document?
I mean, I can't, it's a bunch of them on there. I looked at each check. Yeah, I don't know what this is. There's something out of the system. Let's see. It looks like checks for $100, basically, for the mileage checks.
Have you had a chance to review the exhibit?
Is this the exhibit? Please tell me. This stuff is, yeah.
Have you had a chance to review the exhibit?
I'm looking at it, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be looking at. I see checks, and then it says what it's for, and I don't know, you know. Some of this goes back to 2013, 2008.
Have you had a chance to review the exhibit?
To the best of my ability.
The document on the first page says at the front, Sterling Green CIA. Is that correct?
Objection form.
I don't know.
Does it say Sterling Green at the top?
Objection form.
Yes, it does.
And does it say, also say, have your name at the top?
Mm-hmm. I see that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, And does the document begins with the date of November 5, 2018, with a transaction of November 5, 2018, and it ends with a transaction of November 19, 2018, correct?
Yes, sir. I don't know, that's when it says, this stuff can be changed on the system. Anybody can go behind somebody and change it. So I'm not sure if it's all true or not.
The first entry in this document is, it says mileage, November 5, 2008, and it's for $100.
Objection form.
Were you receiving payments for mileage from Sterling Green in 2008?
Objection form.
I told you it was 2007 when I got the letter, so probably so.
Okay. And in addition to mileage payments, there's also entries on here for wages, such as the one there for, I think that's 52809. Do you see that?
Where's it? say?
Right under my finger on page 2?
I don't know what that is.
But does it in fact
Because
say wages?
It says wages, like I
Objection
said, anybody
form.
can go and change it, because wages, I got paid through payroll, so that wouldn't be wages.
The document indicates total payables of $33,085.77 in the upper right-hand corner. Do you see that?
Objection form.
Yes, I see that. Mm-hmm.
If I was to say to you that this document reflects payments made by Sterling Green to Dorothy Malveaux starting on November 5, 2008, and ending on March 19, 2018,
Mm-hmm.
would you have any reason to dispute that?
Objection form.
Objection
Yes.
form.
And what is that reason?
Because
Objection
anyone can
form.
go in and change it after it's been put in. This is a system.
Well, with regard to any of those entries in there, do you claim that any of those entries are not accurate?
I don't have enough time to
Objection
look
form.
at all that. That's a lot of pages to look at.
I'm going to object as non-responsive. Do you assert that any of those entries are not accurate?
Objection form.
Yes, I do.
Which entries?
I'm not, like the
Objection form.
459 you asked me about, I'm not aware of the wages that I was paid or the check.
Objection non-responsive. My question is, which of the entries in that document are not accurate?
Objection form.
I don't know right now.
You
Can't
don't
tell
know?
you right now. Mm-mm. No. Because like I said, it can be changed. Anyone can go in and change it to what they want it to be. So I don't know which ones.
Do you deny receiving any of the payments listed in that document?
Objection form.
Objection form.
I mean, I received some of them, but like I said, I'm not sure because it looks like it's been changed, so I'm not sure.
Why does it look like it's been changed?
Because there's a lot, some figures like the 454 you pointed out for wages, I don't recall that.
Any other figures that you
It
think have
could
been
be,
changed?
some other ones I don't recall,
Objection form.
so.
Now, you said earlier that you were authorized to receive mileage payments of $100.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe
Objection form.
there are mileage payments in here of $150. Were you authorized by the board at any point to receive mileage payments in excess of
I
$100?
don't
Objection
recall,
form.
don't recall ever receiving one for 150. I don't. I wouldn't do that.
You would occasionally, as office manager, you would issue checks to yourself, correct?
For mileage.
For any reason other than mileage?
No,
Objection form.
never.
Do you have a, who issued your payroll check to you?
Objection form.
Wells Fargo Bank.
Was it direct deposit?
Objection
Yes, it
form.
was.
Do you have a checking account?
Yes, I do.
And what bank is it with?
Well, someone exposed my, and I'm really, right here, my personal information been exposed. I've been exposed, my checking account number and my driver's license information was exposed on the website, public website. And then that was done.
I'm going to object this non-responsive. Do you have a checking account?
Yes, I do.
What is the bank you have your checking account with?
I don't want to give it information. My account has been compromised.
We've been going about an hour. It's about time for lunch.
Okay.
We're just doing fish final questioning.
No, we can stop.